everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cartwheels and Banana Peels. Oh my gosh. As always, I'm super freaking excited to have a couple of amazing ladies with me. We're going to share who we are. We're going to share some funny stories. This is about sitting around my virtual kitchen table and just having a girlfriend chat, because how often do we don't always get to do that, right? But we need to share our stories, funny, shocking, whatever. So that's what we're here today to do. So as always, whatever. It's been a long day, y'all. I'm JC Cormack. I am your rebel storytelling coach and obviously the host of Cartwheels and Banana Peels. So I am all about lightening things up, bringing the funny, because when we laugh, we connect with people much quicker. I won't go into the whole science of it, but it does break barriers down. It's an icebreaker. It just makes people bond quicker, and you will find your people faster. All right, so here we go. Therese, oh my gosh. Therese, I'm so excited to hear who you are and what you do. And you guys, I don't know when these are going to come out time-wise, but I just got to be on Therese's podcast, so we can't wait to share it too. But anyways, Therese, will you please tell us about you?
I would love to. Hi, everyone. My name is Therese Tucker. I'm a self-empowerment coach, a psychic channel, an artist, and an author of the book, Confidence is Magic. And I help women tap into their intuition, foster a growth mindset, and develop deep self-trust so they can create a life that is aligned to their true purpose.
Love it. Love it. All right, Stacy.
Hey everyone, so I'm Stacy. I am a culinary dietitian, and I really focus on people who have been touched by cancer before, after, and during cancer treatment to help them feel better, stop fearing food, and enjoy mealtime again, because it is a huge thing with cancer is that people get scared of food and they're scared to eat. So I love food. You should enjoy food before, after, and during cancer treatment. I mean, food makes us all happy, especially we're at your kitchen table. I mean, you got to be eating and drinking. So that is.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Unique, different. I absolutely love it. My mom has cancer, but anyways, that's another story. So yeah, so beautiful though. Okay, y'all, I already told you who I am. You know, I'm the crazy, big, wild personality one. Stories are so freaking vital. And one thing that I have been talking about with people lately is not only are the stories that we share with others, attracting the right people to us, whether it's clients or whatever, but also repelling the wrong people. And of course, it's me, the single chick, talking about how that repels the wrong guys too. But what I've been talking about is about the stories that we tell ourselves. And sometimes we can really get in our own way because we tell ourselves we're not good enough or, whatever. And so that's another piece that I want you to take to heart today. So when we tell stories, it's perfectly amazing to share those vulnerable stories or the stupid things that we do in life sometimes, because we have to learn how to tell our stories and be who we are and pay attention to the stories that we tell ourselves. All right, that was deep. Let's move on. So, Therese, what have you brought to JC's kitchen table today?
Okay, well, as I said before, I help people live in alignment with their true purpose. And my story is actually a cautionary tale of what it looks like when you don't live in alignment with your true purpose. And it actually goes back to high school. So growing up, I was always naturally the artist. I was on stage a lot as a child. I danced in ballet for many years, performed a lot, did theater, also a painter. And that's kind of my zone of genius. And yet I felt like I needed to expand my horizons when I was in junior high. I started in junior high. There was a lot of athletic women in my family. And for whatever reason, that gene didn't hit me. But I was determined that it must be just hidden and deep inside of me. And I need to unlock this. So the first attempt was trying out for softball. I was like the only person to get hit with the ball and like taken off the field. So that that was a bust. And the coach didn't invite me back. But then I love to swim. I'm a natural swimmer. I love swimming. It's great. And I thought, of course, I should join the swim team. So I joined the swim team freshman year in high school. And I, again, was sort of the odd person out, wasn't ever really fully accepted into the group. And for some reason, these coaches sort of knew, like I just was, pun intended, like a fish out of water. It wasn't really a match. But, this particular coach was like, give a fair chance to everyone. And she had put me into, I want to say it was, gosh, I can't even remember the terms. That's how bad I am at sports. But it was a freestyle swim, and it wasn't a very long one. I want to say maybe 100 yards. I'm not sure if that's the correct terminology. But I remember when we were being trained, she made it very clear that when you're on the starting block, you cannot jump the block or you'll get disqualified. It was really important for us to understand we had to wait for the gun to go off and then jump in the pool and swim. And so I had never been in a swim meet before, and I was so excited to get my first opportunity. And as soon as I got on that block, all I could think about was, I cannot move until I hear that gun go off. So I'm sitting there, you're kind of in this crouch position, your hands are on the platform, and it's ready to like launch yourself. And I'm sitting there crouched in this position. I've got my swim cap on, like my team suit on, and it's taking forever for this gun to go off. But I'm so afraid to turn my head because I felt like any movement I made would disqualify me. So I was like a hawk trained on like a rabbit or something. And I'm just, sitting there on the block and I'm waiting, and there's all this talking around me, but I'm tuning everybody out because the only thing I'm listening for is this gun. And it feels like forever. And finally the gun goes off and I'm dive into the pool, and I get a really good long stretch, and I'm swimming, and I can see the wall coming up. And every time I pull up for air on this lap, I can hear my name. I can hear Therese, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And underwater, I'm looking, and on either side of me, no one's there. So I'm ahead. I am like, I've got this really amazing lead. And I get up to the wall of the pool, and my teammates are there, and they're pounding on the pavement, and they're like, Therese. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm kicking ass right now. I flip over and I swim all the way back, and I come up out of the pool, and I'm like, I'm the first one here. And then I turn around and no one else is in the pool. It was just me. It was just me. And apparently what happened was the event got canceled. And I think the coach was trying to signal to me to get off of the block, but she didn't touch me or tap me. And I was tuning everybody out. And I think that the swim board just had been like, let the poor girl do it, and like shot the gun off and just let me go. So I'm thinking I'm winning this thing, and I get out of the pool and no one's in there. And of course I look up to the stands, and there's like cute boys from class there, and I'm just like, ugh. So this was one of those moments where I went from this complete sense of victory to a place of like, I just want to collapse inside of myself and disappear at this moment. But the reason I share it is because the universe has this beautiful way of sort of redirecting you back to yourself. This was me trying something sort of outside my, what I would call the sphere of destiny. And I think it's great to try that. I'm not discouraging anyone from going outside of what they feel easily called to. I'm just showing you what it looks like when you're in purpose and when you're sort of outside of purpose. And the universe has this beautiful way of like kind of directing you back and saying, that was a good try, but over here is where you really get to shine.
It's a good try. It's a good try.
It was a good try.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love it. Yeah. And it's okay. I think it's great for people to understand that it's okay to have a major snafu. And we don't have to hide it. It may take you a little while to laugh at it, but it's completely okay, because you're not the only one that's had something really embarrassing happen.
Oh no, it's one of my favorite stories. It also shows the power of your mind, right? The perspective. I mean, it's funny because there's a little bit, I can look at it and be like, okay, it's also a little delusional, but it's the power of your mind. I mean, like,
Yes.
I really believed I was winning this thing. And for a hot moment, it was a victory. And that was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It is a victory in the end. Oh my gosh. Okay. Stacy, now I'm going to laugh when I go, what did you bring to my kitchen table? Because I'm thinking, did you bring anything to eat? I'm hungry.
Well, I can. We're in my kitchen. I could whip you up something, but your story made me think of a story with me, and it has to do with the water too, and the power of the mind.
Okay.
Love it.
I was going to talk about, but when you were telling this story, my story like came up. So I live in South Florida, and I've always wanted to swim with the fishes. I've always wanted to go diving. So my husband's like, or he was my boyfriend at the time. He's like, well, you should take dive classes. And I failed my dive classes twice because the pool freaked me out, having everything on, like going deep in the water. It freaked me out. I finally passed my dive course. I remember having to tread water. Like you had to tread water with all your gear on in the pool for like 10 minutes. And I bitched and moaned every single second because I couldn't do it. And I kept trying to go in the shallow water so at least I could have my feet on the ground. So anyway, I finally passed my dive class after twice. So my husband, or my boyfriend at the time, was like, why don't you come with me and my friend? We're going to go catch lobsters. And this was like the first time I was going diving, like real diving with people. And my husband kept telling me, you need to learn my gear. Like, you need to learn your gear. And another friend kept saying, no, she's with you. She doesn't need to know her gear because you'll be able to help her. So long story short, me and him and a friend went diving, the three of us. All of us were at fault for this. No, there's no blame on anyone. So we went diving and we went to go look for the lobsters. And all of a sudden, I'll just call my husband saw a fish. So he swam one way to go catch a fish. So now I am left with his friend. And we had something go loud above us. So he told me he's going to go look to see what's up there. I said, okay. And he goes up. I did not follow him. And he realized that the boat was floating away with his daughter in it. And he went to swim for the boat. I am on the bottom of the ocean by myself with my. There's a happy ending. Obviously, I'm still here.
Yes.
So I go up and I'm like, so I swim up, I get to the top and I don't see anybody. I don't see land and I don't see the boat. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I was going to say the F-bomb, but I caught myself. What do I do? So I went back down 30 feet and I'm like, well, if I'm down here, nobody is going to be able to find me. So I go back up. Meanwhile, my husband, or husband, whatever he is, he notices that his friend was without me. And he's like, oh my goodness, where's Stacy? And there must have been the gods looking over us because all of a sudden another boat came by and he jumped on their boat. He like said, we have a man, like we're in a situation. They did a Mayday call and they were trying to find me. So all I was doing was laying on my back, looking up. All of a sudden I saw a helicopter coming up and I was screaming bloody murder. Meanwhile, back to learning my gear, my BC wasn't blowing up. So I couldn't float. I was trying to blow it up, but it wasn't going. So here I am with like 60 pounds of gear on my back.
Gosh.
Had water because I'm in 30 feet of water. And finally, I see the helicopter. I'm watching the helicopter and it felt like forever. But then all of a sudden a boat comes near me and it was the Coast Guard. They pulled me in. And the first thing the guy looked at me and said was, why didn't you take off your gear? Like, why are you here? I didn't want to tell him it was brand new. I never wore before. I wasn't dropping thousands of dollars of gear. Yes. You know, I was doing fine at the time. So I saw the helicopter. good story. My husband, everyone, we all found each other. We were all good. But when we were driving home, I said to my husband, I said, listen, I'm kind of upset about this. He's like, why? What's wrong? I said, I'm kind of upset they didn't take me on the helicopter. I've been on a boat before. I wanted them to pull me up on the helicopter. And he's like, really? I said, yeah. Like, I was kind of upset, but I never really told this story before, but it is a true story. And it just shows you that the power of the mind, because here I am in a stressful situation. I wasn't scared of being eaten by sharks or anything. I was scared of being hit by a boat, but mind over matter. I tread water with the gear with no issue. I was not tired whatsoever. There was no bitching about it. But it's just an amazing situation that, you know, the fight and flight really comes. It really does hit when you need it. But that is my water story.
Oh my gosh.
And I always say I fought the ocean once and I won. I will not do it again. However, I will go diving again. I've gone diving. It is the most amazing thing in the world to swim with the fish. But the moral of my story is learn your gear, learn how to use everything. And yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Can I just say?
Oh my goodness.
My favorite part of that story wasn't that you were mad that everyone swam away, but you were mad you didn't get to go on the helicopter.
I know, but
like I wanted to go on the rope and then pull me up and I could wave to everybody, but no, I had to go on the Coast Guard boat. But the Coast Guards definitely were very nice. It was a great ending to the story, but
gosh. Okay, wait, I was going to go one direction. Now I've got another one. Okay, a little different, but you said Coast Guard. And I was like, ding, ding, we have a winner. Here's a story. And this is, you guys, and I know I told Therese and Stacy before we started, but anyone watching, if you don't know my style and how I talk about back pocket stories, when we can listen to those around us, and then we go, oh, it made me think of this other story that we can relate to them. Mind you, this is also an ADHD thing. ADHD people tend to do this. That's me. But we can relate to them and we can share a story then, because now it just goes, oh, and we can kind of bond, right? So it's just a really cool thing. So here's a nice embarrassing story about JC. As I mentioned, I am single at this point in my life. And a few years ago, I met a guy, oh my gosh, I was doing the whole dating app thing. This was back when I lived in Fort Worth, in Dallas, Fort Worth area. So lots of opportunities with that to meet new people. And I met this gentleman and he was Puerto Rican. He spent the first 20 something years. He'll never hear this, but it'd be funny if he did hear this. But he's 26 years or something before he actually came to the mainland, right? So he grew up, spent lots of times in Puerto Rico. But then he ended up also being a Coast Guardsman. No problem. We had talked for a while. My mom had some major health issues. I put him off. I was like, I'm just like, I don't want to see, I don't want to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Finally, he got me convinced to go out with him. So we go out to have some steak. No big deal. I'm eating my steak. I don't know what the heck I did. I do have some throat issues. Sometimes I always have a drink with me when I'm eating, always, because I can't swallow anyways. But all of a sudden I realized I couldn't swallow the steak. It was cutting off my air. It was just in that perfect spot, unfortunately. And I was like, this isn't good. And I couldn't seem to do anything with it. And it was just, it lodged enough or whatever that I didn't feel at that point. It was too scary to take a drink because I thought I'm just going to drown right here in front of this person. So finally, I started to feel myself kind of starting to tunnel. You know, I'm like, I'm going to pass out. This is not good. He's like, nom, 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 that steak. He's just chowing down. He's not even realizing this woman sitting across from him is dying or going to be. So I jump up because I really didn't know what to do. I jump up. The guy in the booth behind him happens to see me first. I reached for my throat trying to tell him because I couldn't talk. There was no air. And so he jumps up, tries to do the Heimlich. Poor guy. Kind of knew what he was doing, maybe, I don't know. But plus it's someone he doesn't know. He's touching a stranger, which is, he's like, whatever, it didn't happen. That made my date realize that, oh crap, I've got to help her. Okay. So he pushes this guy away from me, and it took him 3 tries. And he was trained, he knew what he was doing, but he did save my life. But I'm like, you guys, there is like nasty steak on the floor. The waitresses are rushing over, the waiters, are you okay? And I'm like, just wanting to crawl under the table and die, embarrassed. And I'm like, I'm fine. And if you've ever experienced where you completely lose oxygen like that, then there's this horrendous sound, I can't make it intentionally, when you're breathing again. So there I sat with the first date making weird sounds. And it hurts. I remember, it's been years ago now, but I remember it was sore. It hurt.
Oh yeah.
So he looks at me and he was like, he saved my life, but then also he was like, do you want to come sit over here next to me in the booth next to him? So it was kind of his move. So I dated him for a few weeks after that. We dated for a little while. But yeah, you don't know what's going to happen, and you can be really surprised by the craziness that life can throw at us. Right? Our lives may be at stake, and we may also be so freaking embarrassed that, oh my God, right? Oh my God. So let people help you, right?
Yes. I'm so glad he was trained.
Right? Let people help you. Listen to the people around you. Be aware of what's going on, Therese. all of us in this moment, be aware of your surroundings, right? Oh my gosh. You guys, this is great. Okay. We're all alive. This is good.
You're alive.
Story. There.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right. So, something you have to offer, of course, today, because you guys, I've not had the chance to sit with Stacy yet and just have like a one-on-one conversation, but I did get that chance with Therese. And so she's this phenomenally amazing person, you guys. Oh my gosh. So Therese, how can they find you? If you have something to share, offer, let us know.
Oh, yeah. So the first thing I want to share with you is, if you want to hear more, especially about the more psychic channeling, I guess, woo-woo aspects of what I do, a great place to see that is my YouTube channel. So it's Blythe Starlight. That's BLYTHE Starlight, all one word. Find me on YouTube. Every week I do karma card readings. So I'm doing a reading for the week for you. So if you want to see what's going on in energy, astrologically, and get a message from my team in spirit, I like to put that there. And it, of course, there's all these other channels you can follow me on. But the other thing I wanted to share with you is I do help people tap deeper into their intuition. And a lot of times the gateway to that is developing deeper self-trust. And if that's something that's resonating for you, I actually have a 5-part series that I offer for free. So you can go to my website, which is also Blythe Starlight. The link I'm sure will be in the description below for you. Or I provided JC with my link tree, which will have a direct link right to that free mini course. And it's 5 meditations that you get to keep. And I'm guiding you through developing a deeper sense of self-trust and helping unlock more of your intuition.
I absolutely love it, because I'm woo-woo. So
Love the woo-woo.
I don't talk about it much, but I'm also totally all woo. So I love it. All right, now, Stacy, oh my gosh, because what you do is so freaking important. It's so amazing. We all either have experienced it, we know somebody that's had cancer or has cancer. It's huge. We know that. So I'm fascinated by what it is that you do. So tell us, how can we learn more about you and find out what you have to offer?
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Instagram. I like to play there. So my name is cancer.nutrition.coach there. And I provide recipes, tips, and I'm not just for people with cancer. If you want to lose weight, eat better, it's not just cancer, but most of us want to prevent or reduce our risk of cancer too. So work with all of that. And then also on my Instagram, you can find I have a free meal plan, a 3-day plant-focused meal plan. So you could download it. It has the meal plan, recipes, shopping lists, just to get you started. I'm not saying that you have to become a vegetarian or vegan, but just different ideas to get more fruits and vegetables and plant-based foods into your diet, because it is important.
Love it. Love, love, love it. Hey, I'm not vegetarian right now or vegan, but I have been. And back in those days, I probably felt better.
Yeah,
It's probably true.
dude.
So yeah.
Love my I love to watch my fish swim, but I like to eat them. So I can't stop.
Oh my Stacy. Oh, I'm not gonna free. I'm almost like that's a riot, girl. That's funny. Oh my goodness. The dark humor. I love it. Okay. So it's just a riot. You guys, when you are wanting to share your stories, you don't know like what stories do I share? How do I share it? How can I make it concise? Often what people ask me is like, I don't know what part of my story to cut out, what parts make it entertaining. How do I make it entertaining? How do I make something entertaining when I have deep, deep, serious work that I do? Talk to me, because I absolutely know how to do that without a doubt, hands down. And right now, this is the summer. If you're watching it when we put it out, it's the summer of 2024. So I actually, though I love doing group facilitation and group programs, for some reason, my intuition, my spiritual guides have said, JC, do one-on-one for a while. So I am doing one-on-one coaching, and I've also been called to make it really affordable right now. So it's just an interesting time in my life to give back and to coach at a high level, but it's something that reaches a lot of different people. So I'm super excited. So if you're curious about that, want to know more about it, obviously reach out to me. It's really not hard to find me. I'll put the links in the show notes. If you're not on cartwheelsandbananapeels.com right now, then you can go find me over there. That's definitely one place. But if you're on the YouTube channel, hello, subscribe so that you don't miss not only these amazing ladies, but the guys that have come on. We've got another episode coming out in a few months. And then just the other phenomenal women that I bring to invite to my kitchen table. It's so much fun. So fantastic, ladies. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, this was such a blast today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You are.
And I'm not going to forget that helicopter story. It's like, man, I would have won the helicopter too. I'm right there with you. Like,
totally. But I'm not going to forget. She was like, I like to swim the fishes, but I want to eat them too. I'm just dying over that.
I'm just straight up and honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it's the truth.
I love it. Down there diving, I'm over there on the side snorkeling, and I'm like, what is Stacy doing? Oh my gosh, she just caught that thing. She was watch out, fishy. Anyway.
Like eating it straight. Yummy.
Oh my gosh, what a riot, you guys. All right, everybody, have an amazing time and day, whatever I'm trying to say. We will catch you next time.